Hi, Miss Jackie.
Hello.
How is it going?
It's going great.
Yeah?
I haven't been here for a while.
I know.
So this has been great.
You're going to have your chance to be on all week long next week because this gal is taking my place all next week while I'm in Houston. So
Look out, everyone.
I think you're in for a treat with Jackie. We all know and love her, right?
Yeah.
So
Thank
welcome to 3 Themes at 3, where theme number 1 is something to smile about, theme number 2 is something to learn, and theme number 3 is something to discover. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to 3 Themes at 3. I'm Kris at my girlfriend's quilt shop, and I'm so happy to welcome you to another episode that we're doing this week, and it's all dedicated towards the mental and physical health of the quilter. And I've got Jackie with me today. Hello, hello.
Hello.
And it's been a good week so far, don't you think?
Yes, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really good I said yesterday, it was like these little nuggets of wisdom. And did you have a chance to watch yesterday's show?
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I actually did some of the stretches and everything
Did
that
you
he
really?
suggested because, yeah, I think we all feel that, well, especially when we sew for long periods of time,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
And so I slept like a baby last night. I don't know if that was why.
Hey,
but,
you know
or
what?
it was the pill. I don't know the sleeping pill that I took. That's what I'm saying.
A little combination of both. It's fine. It's fine, you
but
know.
We'll say it was the stretch.
Yeah, well, you know what? Stretching is very, very good
Yes.
for you. In fact, my doctor told me the other day that I should probably start yoga. And I was like, oh, that sounds awful. But she said it's so good for you as you
Yeah.
get older.
Well, that's
you
true.
need to be stretching more. And I'm like, okay. So
My problem is I would
next
get
week's show, Chris
Yoga?
is doing yoga. And little meditation too.
I'm afraid I'd get on the floor and not get up.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
exactly. That's exactly right.
So,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Well, so on Monday we talked about just, again, the mental health aspect of the quilter, right?
Yeah.
And we were able to have a great discussion with Melissa Mason, who's a licensed therapist, and she's your and my friend as well.
Yes.
And it's really pretty cool because she's actually combined for us in this interview more of the quilting world meets the mental health world,
Yeah.
and together, what does that all look like? And she gave us some great information in those first 2 days. And we talked about mindless sewing, and we've got a little bit of that today as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited for today's show, and I hope that you'll share it with somebody else who might be able to use, just a little bit of advice, a little
Yes.
pick-me-up, right?
Oh, I think we all need to hear that, right?
Absolutely.
I says, even if we feel like we know it, it's always a good reminder.
It is, and
For
I
sure.
think it's important that we talk about these things
Yes,
and be
absolutely.
very open about it. So for sure.
I agree.
All right, my friends. Well, speaking of sharing, can I just say we have a little audience
I know,
today?
it's so fun to
oh
see them
my
today.
goodness, they're sharing the fun with us.
Look at it. Wave everyone.
Wait, there we go. All right. Many of you know Cindy and Kathy. You might not know those other two hoodlums right next to them, but I'm just waiting for the spit wads to come out from Rick. Yeah, it would be good for his mental health,
There
he
you go.
says. But we're happy to welcome them to
That's fun.
3 Themes at
Yeah.
3 today. So thanks for being
Yeah.
here. In fact, they came all the way from New Mexico. Can you
It's
believe that,
amazing.
to be with us?
That's awesome.
Yes. So
Yeah,
many of you know Cindy out there. She's
Yes.
Cindy's the one who she posts all the things she's making, and she's like on it.
Yeah, she
right?
is. She gets so much done.
I know.
And it's like,
I'm
I want to
amazed.
be like Cindy.
I
That's
want to be like Cindy.
It's like,
exactly.
Yeah. Someday.
She
yeah.
says we have to be retired
okay.
in order to do it.
All
Okay.
right. Okay,
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Anyway, too much fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you ready to get going?
I am ready.
Okay.
We have some fun things to do today.
We sure
So,
do. And the first thing we're going to start off with is going back and revisiting our interview with Melissa Mason. Definitely you're going to want to watch because she has even more helpful advice for all of us quilters out there. Let's take a look.
So, do you find yourself like feeling like you're a better wife and mother after you've given yourself the opportunity, even for a few minutes, to just do something that is important to you?
I do. I feel like I'm a better therapist too. Yeah, when I can kind of give myself a break, take care of myself, engage my senses, be present. It helps me to think better. It helps me to feel better. I show up. I'm present with the people in my life in a better way. I can think more clearly. It does a lot of great things for us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that so
Yes.
much.
I do too. I do too. I mean, it kind of gives us the okay to do the things we love.
Yeah. As a therapist, I give you permission. It's
And
so
she
good
does
for
it
you.
free.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. No, I think that's really important because I remember when I was, a new mom and I had this little baby and I would just be so overwhelmed, right? This feeling of being overwhelmed and almost just like I couldn't get on top of anything. And I just felt like if I could just spend just a few minutes a day, like doing some hand stitching or something, I wasn't neglecting anyone else. It was just, I put the baby down. There's lots of things I could be doing. I know I could be doing laundry. I know I could be doing this or that. But I gave myself permission to say, you need a few minutes to engage in a creative way. And I do believe that just doing that, even for 5 minutes a day, I tell new moms this all the time, just give yourself 5 minutes a day, whether it's sewing, whether it's taking a bath, whether it's trying a new recipe, something that fulfills you in a way that only you can help yourself with.
I love that you did that for yourself. That's a really hard thing for us as women to do.
It is.
To set kind of that boundary, to set that time aside for ourselves. And I love that you're sharing it with people, that you're telling new moms that, because nobody else does, right?
Yeah.
We're in such a triage mode, right? In such a survival. And it's really the survival of this, beautiful little creature in our lives, right?
Right.
But we don't think about our own survival.
Exactly.
And that's where we see, a lot of new moms suffer.
Yeah.
We see a lot of moms come in with postpartum depression.
Yes.
Because we're not talking about it enough, because we're not talking about how to take care of yourself and take care of another human at the same time.
Well, and I think it's really important that we be vocal about it as well.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know who we're affecting in our lives and who we're teaching. I think we need to teach our families, hey, mom needs 5 minutes, or hey, as a wife, I need a half an hour just to myself, or as a grandmother, or I mean, wherever you are. But I think that it's something that we can't just do.
Yeah.
We have to be vocal about this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah, we're always modeling, right? Yes. We're always modeling for our kids, for our grandkids, for the people around us. One of the most important things we can do in that way is just name how we're feeling. Just naming emotions in a home is a big deal. Being able to say, I am just feeling really sad today about XYZ, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the weather, but I'm just feeling a little bit down, a little bit depressed. Just having those words, a lot of people are afraid of saying things like that. If I talk about depression or anxiety, does that mean my kids are going to start using that language?
Right.
No, it means they're going to start using it in a healthy way. They're going to start realizing that what they feel is normal because everybody experiences those things at some point, at some level, right?
And you shouldn't feel shame or
Exactly
guilt for that, right?
Yeah, if we're not naming them, what are we teaching? We're teaching that those are things to be ashamed of. That what is wrong with me that I feel this way.
Yeah, we have a phrase at our house. We call it the blahs. I mean, and it really is seasonal depression. I mean, when
It's a real
the
thing.
sun goes down and we're like, all right, I feel the blahs coming on. But it has changed my marriage in the fact that my spouse doesn't have to worry that it's him.
Yeah,
Because I think that, sometimes if I just say, gosh, you know what, Jeff, I've got the blahs today, then he's like, okay, it's not me, and I don't have to fix this because we're such fixers.
Yeah, and do you find also that sometimes you don't realize you have the blahs and he'll say it or point it
Yes.
out? We did the exact same thing in our marriage early on with depression. We started calling it gray cloud. And so sometimes I don't realize and I'll be reacting, maybe I'll yell. Maybe sometimes I'm down. Maybe I'm just not kind of present. And my husband will say, gray cloud? And that's all he has to say. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
And it feels so much better to name it and realize what's going on.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. I think one of the things that a lot of women, especially in our community, have feelings of is loneliness.
Yeah.
Is it especially, when you talk about the pandemic and everyone was, had to be in their homes and there was this cutoff from the world and socialization, and it's slowly getting better, but it's still there. And maybe I think this is an age-old problem. It occurred even before then.
Right.
But I think even more so right now, there are times when we feel very lonely, whether it's because we had a spouse who passed on, or maybe our kids have just left the house and now we're trying to figure out who am I? For years I was the caregiver, I was the caretaker of putting everyone's needs before my own, and now all of a sudden I find myself in this situation that I say, what really makes me tick?
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone who's feeling in that same boat?
You're not alone. Whether you're retired, whether your kids have just left the house, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We all experience loneliness, and you're right. It's always been around, and it's a little different now, isn't it?
And I feel like quilting is either a social craft or a lonely craft.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
we do a lot of work on our own.
Yeah.
And at the same time, think about what we're doing here. So we're talking, and there are people watching and commenting on YouTube. So this experience that we're having right now, even if you're at home by yourself, staring at a computer screen, and there's no one else in the house, you're connecting with a community. There's a sense of connectedness and creativity, which is a lovely thing. Now, we don't have that all the time, right? And so what can we do to stay connected? I think we need to examine how we're in relationship with people. I think social media, being online, has really changed our dynamics, how we interact, how we engage. Often it's on a very surface level, shallow level, or it's so hostile in a way we wouldn't talk to each other normally, and that hurts us.
Yes.
And the more
Very
we see that,
divisive.
the more isolated we feel, right? The more us versus them we see online, the more isolated we feel. And so we have to be careful about how we're interacting with people, the people online, the people in our lives. And then we start thinking, especially if it's a new stage of life, that's when you start thinking, what does fulfill me? Where do I feel connectedness? And maybe that's going to the garden shop and taking a class, right? Maybe it is going to the quilt shop and taking a class. Maybe it's like inviting some neighbors over. Our neighborhood does a walkabout every few Sundays where people will just kind of like walk from their homes to somebody's house, and there's just like dessert. There's like cupcakes and cookies, and everyone just stands in the yard and talks. Something as simple as that,
Yeah.
But really kind of examine, how am I engaging and what ways do I want to engage? And what ways do I not want to engage also?
Right.
You know, there might be
Right.
relationships or ways that you're engaging that don't feel good and they don't fill you and maybe they
Yeah.
even harm more than hurt.
Right.
So just really think
Yeah,
about
I
that.
have two thoughts. I mean, the first one is social media, and I'm very grateful for a mother that always taught me, don't type it unless you're willing to say it to their face.
that's
I mean,
really
you know,
good advice.
you know, and oftentimes I will think, if they were sitting in front of me, would I say the things, or how are they going to take that tone? Because we can't do that.
All right, welcome back, everyone. What did you think? What did you think of that interview? What about you? Tell us in the comments. We want to hear
yes,
and
for
be able to
sure.
shout out. But what did you think?
Well, the one thing that that really stuck out to me is the different changes. You know,
Yes.
and those emotions that you're feeling in the different stages of life.
Yeah.
Because I'm right there.
You're
That's where
right.
I am right now.
Yeah.
Is I'm kind of moving into a different stage.
Are there feelings of loneliness for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
very
when
real.
my kids were home and I was so involved with my kids, you know, I had a purpose. I, you know, kept going and doing and I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
And now all of my kids are gone.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm not needed.
Ah,
You know, those
interesting.
feelings of kind of, okay, well now everyone's off doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And so where does that leave me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, those feelings are so real.
I think that
So-
I'm sure this hits home to a lot of people,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. And I bet a lot of you can relate. One of the things that I loved that they were talking about is when, you know, Melissa was talking about how she sometimes her and her husband, they call it gray cloud. Do you have, you know, is there a gray cloud? You know, is this kind of a gray cloud kind of day? Meaning that it's okay to have those kind of days, and it's nothing against the spouse
Right,
or
right.
anything like that. It's more like just acknowledging that, yeah, this is kind of a gray cloud kind of day. And then, you know what, then as the same thing goes with gray clouds, I mean, the sun does eventually appear, right?
Well, what happens when we don't speak with our spouse and communicate that thing? Then
Right.
our minds just start
Yes.
saying, okay, what have I done, or whatever.
Yes.
So I never even thought of, you know, communicating that to my spouse.
Right.
You know, I wonder if it would make a difference. I'm going to try that out.
You know what? Give it a try.
Yeah.
I think I will too. That was an aha
Yeah.
moment for me when, you know, Allison said about the blahs and Melissa said about the gray cloud. I think that's, you know, really, really important. So
Yeah.
this is all really good stuff. And
Yeah.
I hope that you are enjoying being able to watch this and being a part of it this week, because I think it's something that we don't talk about enough. And yeah, this is a quilting show. We do sewing, we do lots of fun projects, but really ultimately the show is about each of you and about
Yeah.
us, and it's
Yes.
about us as human beings too.
Yeah.
And so there are needs that need to be met for, you know, those of us who love to create and to sew and all those things, but we still are real people with real emotions. And I
Yes.
think it's important to
Yeah.
recognize that.
Well, and I think as a community of quilters,
Yeah.
I mean, we love to have, I mean, like bees, you know, quilting bees.
Yes,
you know, it's how
right.
they used to call them. But I think it's important to talk about those things.
Well, think about it. You bring up a perfect point. The quilting bees,
Yeah.
you know, for generations, that's what I remember, you know, when I first joined. I didn't grow up in a sewing family, but when I first joined the Thurgood family, I mean, they
Yeah.
always had a quilting bee set up. But even before that, for years and years and years, we go back to, you know, the earlier days of what would women do for their social. They would get together and they would sit around
A quilt.
a quilt and they would stitch. And I'm sure they would talk, they would laugh, they would eat, they would cry, all those things.
Well, look what we did in our quilting group.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think back of, you know, the things that we talked about and,
absolutely.
you know, the fulfillment of, you know, of the conversations, you know, I mean, it will even go back to, someone will help you with
Yes.
whatever you're going through, because our group had so many
Yes.
different
We are all in different
ages.
stages of
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
And this is well beyond opening up the quilt shop. I mean,
Yes.
Jackie and I have been friends forever, and that's kind of how our friendship started, was through
Yeah.
a small little quilting group.
Yes.
So I love it. Marion said that she loves her quilting girlfriends. When they get together, we solve so many problems.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we could solve a lot of world's problems, one fat quarter at a time.
I agree.
If it were only that easy.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
it's important to be able to talk about these things, and I hope you've enjoyed it. So
Yeah,
let's
very
keep the
much so.
conversation going.
Yes,
Let's
for
definitely
sure.
do that. We're a community here. We're here to help one another. All right. Well, that's it for theme number 1. Join us for theme number 2, because, we've been talking this week about there are differences between mindful sewing and mindless sewing, and there's a place for both. Now, when we talked crumb quilts on Monday, the buzzword, that was more mindless sewing, right? Well, today, Jackie and I have a project that is a little bit more mindful, and it's an exclusive with My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and it actually debuts today. So we're pretty excited about it. So head over to the sewing table with Jackie and I, and we're going to do that. While we do so, let's go ahead and take a look at what you may have missed last week on 3 Themes at 3. Last week on 3 Themes at 3, we were inspired by Christmas cookies from Grace Gaylord, aka the Graceful Baker.
Those cookies are really so amazing. They are so detailed and beautiful. I think I would just eat them before I was done.
Oh, absolutely. I'm right there with you on that one. And after watching all of her videos, we were then inspired to make an apron from tea towels, a gingerbread man pillow, an I Spice snow globe, and an ugly sweater quilt block. And we finished strong with our own ugly Christmas sweater fashion show.
That is something you definitely do not want to miss. Be sure to catch 3 at 3 live every Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. I paid good money for it. Or watch it on demand on Facebook or YouTube by clicking the link below.
Come learn and have some fun with us on 3 Themes at 3, where we always have something to make you smile, something to learn, and something to discover. Let's go. All right, welcome
Here we
back,
are.
everyone. Here we are. That was a fun week last week.
Yeah.
The ugly sweater was a hit.
Yeah, I feel bad because I really don't have an ugly sweater, so I missed that.
You're
I
like,
missed
I'm out.
So
You missed out on the big prizes.
what were the big prizes?
Oh, they weren't a whoopee
Oh.
cushion,
Oh, I love prizes.
Yeah.
If I knew there were going to be prizes, then I would have made.
You would have made sure to run to the thrift shop
Or
and get that
something.
ugly sweater.
I know, right?
Oh, too fun, too fun. All right, friends. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're talking a little bit about mindful sewing. And Melissa has taught us that there's place for both,
Yes,
right?
there
Mindless
is.
and mindful.
Yes.
But I would consider handwork a little bit more mindful when it comes to this, because yes, we are focused on some of these things here,
Right.
like what's in front of us. It's not like the crumb quilt where you're just like haphazard and you're throwing it all around.
Right, right.
But how many of you, let us know in the comments, how many of you love doing handwork? Now, I know that there's a lot of you who are like, nope, peace out, I don't
Yeah.
do handwork. But I promise you, if you give it a try, it actually can be quite relaxing.
It really is
What do you
relaxing.
think?
Oh, I love handwork.
Yeah.
So I've been doing. I don't know if you are familiar with Hardinger.
Yes, I've never done it.
I love.
Have you done it?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
No, I've never done it.
I've done several things with Hardinger, and I love
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I love doing stuff with my hands.
Yeah.
That's just how I grew up.
Yeah.
That I can't. My mom always was doing something with her hands. So
Exactly.
I've loved to do
Well,
that.
and what we've learned is as much as we'd like to, we can't take our machines with us, my
That's
friends.
right.
So, it's not like we can take that machine on an airplane and
That's right.
sew away. Or did you see Kimber Bell's new punch needle commercial?
Yeah.
Cracked me up,
Yeah,
seriously,
so funny.
at the ball game. So we obviously know that we can't do those. So sometimes handwork is the way to go.
Yes.
And we have an exclusive project that Bev McCullough of Flamingo Toes
Yes.
put together for my girlfriend's quilt shop, and we're so excited about it.
It is darling.
Should we take a look at what this is?
Yes, it
okay.
is so cute. I'm going to move this over here so that we can
Put it right
see.
over
Look how
here.
cute that is.
This is going to look darling in your sewing room.
This is adorable.
And the thing I love about this is it's almost like a stitch sampler,
Yes,
isn't it?
that's exactly what it is. It is a stamp. So then you've got all of these different fun stitches that you can do, which is really a lot of fun. And so then I just love it.
Yeah.
It really turned out darling.
It's very fun, and I'm so grateful that she designed this for us.
Yes.
And we put together an exclusive kit.
Yes, in fact, let's show the kit.
Let's see what's in it. Yeah.
So this is what's really fun. It comes in this really cool bag. I mean, who doesn't love bags?
I can't have
for
enough
projects?
of them.
Well, and just to keep your project in, which is really nice. I love it. So you get the pattern. And with the instructions, and I'll show you a little bit about the pattern as we talk about.
Okay.
You get your fabric, and you actually have enough fabric to do 2 of these.
Oh, okay.
And you get, of course, the embroidery hoop. You get all of the floss that you need. Definitely have enough to do more than one.
Okay.
You get a needle. 18 actually,
needles. You got plenty of nifty needles there.
Yes, these are Lori Holt nifty needles, and I'm kind of excited to try it.
Yeah.
So you'll have that, and
This is my favorite.
I said I saved the best for last.
So excited.
So this is actually, she designed this. I'm going to slide this over here. This cute little needle minder that looks just like the pattern.
Oh,
That's
look
exclusive.
at that.
Isn't that so cute?
I love it.
Who doesn't love the needle minder? And I love her needle minders. They're so cute.
Who are collectors out there of needle minders? Raise
Yes,
a hand.
I
Yep.
know. So you get all of this
All right.
in this kit. So you really don't have to purchase anything. Really, you can just get started.
I love it.
And so
Okay, perfect.
I love it.
How do we start
All
this
right.
project?
Well, I thought it would be really important to kind of talk a little bit about preparation.
Yeah.
Because I think that is a really good thing to do, is to make sure that you're prepared.
Yeah.
You have everything that you need just to be successful. Because if you're not successful, then
Right.
you're going to hate it, and then
Exactly.
then you're not going to want to do it.
Exactly.
So to prepare your fabric, let's talk a little bit about your fabric. This is just a regular cotton, 100% cotton. You can do stitching on linen. You can do you could even do it on Aida cloth if you wanted. There's so many
Absolutely.
different things. And so depending on what you're doing, most generally it will be on a cotton really tight weave fabric. That
This is really cute with the different colors.
It is,
there.
darling. This is a Riley Blake Dainty Daisies is what it is, and it has the multicolored, which is really cute, which I think adds a lot.
Yeah.
And so you'll cut your fabric.
Okay, I noticed you've got my
Yes.
favorite product on the back.
Yes, and I think this is one thing that you really need to absolutely do.
Yeah.
Is you need to put on the back a fusible backing.
Absolutely.
It is like a given.
Yep.
Because not only is it give your fabric some stability, then you can also not see your stitches through. If your material is a little bit
I can't
thin.
say enough good things about that product.
Yes.
I use it for everything,
Yes.
whether it's handwork or
Yes.
machine embroidery.
Yeah, so it's not just for the machine embroidery.
No.
So it's for everything.
Okay.
So I always make sure that I put that on the back of
Absolutely.
my projects. It just makes it just makes your stitches lay so much nicer on your fabric.
Now, there was a really cool way that they transfer this
Yes.
on here.
Yes.
So tell us about this.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about this.
Yeah.
She has in this pattern, here is her pattern anyway. Let's just look at the pattern really fast. So she gives you the color and gives you all of the instructions, gives you diagrams on how to do each of the stitches.
Nice.
Which is really, really nice.
It is.
And but she also includes this. It goes this way. It includes this paper. I mean, it's just paper.
Yeah.
But you actually use the iron.
Yeah.
And you iron this on to your fabric.
So
once
it's like a transfer.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly like a
Okay.
transfer. You remember the old transfers that we used to
yes.
have the blue?
The blue. It was a mess.
It was.
You remember that? I remember. Who remembers that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a mess.
Putting them on your dish towels and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of the teaching, you know, the, what's the?
Oh, boy, we're dating ourselves, my
I know,
friend.
okay, we'll stop. We'll stop right there. But,
Yeah.
but anyway, so it comes like this, and then what you'll do is once you've prepared your fabric with the fusible backing, you'll actually take this to the iron, and you'll put it on top. Now, you don't want to use steam because the steam doesn't work too well. So it's a dry.
That's important
It's a
to
dry
remember.
iron.
A dry iron.
So what?
I have to say, Janice said her ironing board remembers those transfers.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It just kind of brings back, and that's what's so funny is that this used to be really popular back in the day.
Yeah.
And now
it all comes back.
It all
comes back.
It all comes full circle, doesn't
Yes.
it? So, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
So before I put it in the hoop, then I will take it to my ironing board and I lay it down, face down onto my fabric. Now, I tried to make sure I centered it the way. So if you really want to be picky, you can fold your fabric in fourths and find the center.
Not you.
No,
not you.
Not me ever.
I would have been like,
it looks
good enough.
No, I actually did that this time. I did
You
not.
did?
I did.
I'm so proud of you.
I did not.
I am so proud of you.
I didn't even get my measuring tape out.
Whoa.
So
It's a new day for Jackie.
So I put it upside down, and then I took my iron and I started in one corner, in the left hand corner, because then I put my ironing down. I did not iron. I press.
You
I'm
press.
pressing.
Yep.
I laid it down. I counted to 5.
Okay.
Went to another section, laid down, counted to 5. Then before I went on to the other one, I just kind of lifted up my paper
Just to kind of make
see
sure.
that it had transferred onto my fabric.
Okay.
So then I did the whole thing.
Can you use it more than once?
That is a good. I wanted to see if you could. So
And?
yes, this is this is
cool.
the second. This is the second.
Really?
pressing.
Wow. Okay.
And
that's impressive.
I bet I could get a third and
I bet you
possibly a
could.
fourth. I mean, as long as your
And
eyes.
if you wanted to do more, you could certainly do it the
Yes.
other way, where you use the light box
Yes.
and you trace it.
Yes.
Okay.
But this was so nice
love
to be
it.
able to transfer it.
Yeah.
Just using the iron, which was
Perfect.
great. So now it's onto your fabric. I put the hoop in. It comes with the 8-inch hoop. So I centered it in my hoop how I wanted it, and then I just made sure that I cranked this the
Nice
screw
and tight.
on the tie, because I do want it. I really do want it nice and taut, so that.
I want to show this
good.
up close.
Yeah.
Let's get it
Can
on
we?
this camera again.
It is
yeah.
so cute.
Because yes, it sure is. I love, there's some stitches here that I'm not familiar with how to do. Like, I've never done this one.
Yes, that
right
one
here.
is. Well, let's get
I
the
think
proper
the
terminology.
rest I've done, but I have not done this one. So
That one is called a chevron stitch. This one right down here on the
I
bottom.
like that.
Is that cool?
Yeah,
Then
I like
the
that
next
a
one
lot.
up is called the split stitch.
Oh, I have not done that one either.
That one looks really cool. Then
Okay.
it's the fly stitch,
All right, that's the fly.
and then a chain stitch, which
Okay.
that's kind of familiar.
Yes, that
the
looks
next one we're
familiar.
all familiar with is the blanket stitch.
Yep.
Then the next one is a back stitch with a French knot. So French knots are also really fun to make as well. And
Yeah, I
there are
like
different-
French knots.
There are different ways that you
Absolutely.
can do French knots.
Yeah.
There's the next one is called a cross stitch.
Okay.
Then you're going to be doing a running stitch. That one is really fun and primitive.
That's the one I'll do
It's
first.
really, yes. Exactly. And it's always good when you're starting a new project to practice. Just get another piece of fabric
Yeah.
that you can practice some of these on so that you can get it down before you actually do it
that's a
on
good
your,
idea. I like that.
do it on
Yeah.
your project, because then
What
you
does she
won't
call
have to
this one?
The next one up is called a stem stitch.
Oh, okay.
And then the next one is back stitch and a lazy daisy.
And the lazy daisy,
Yeah.
which I love lazy daisies.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this, and this is what you're going to
Yes,
show today.
I am, because it's my favorite
I've
one.
never done a stitch like that.
It's called a woven rose.
Okay.
And I love it. It's a 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, but yet it is just, it's amazing.
Okay,
It's
show
really
us
cute.
how it's done,
I
Jackie.
will. So anyway, she gives all of the instructions on how to do each of those stitches.
Perfect.
And so it's really a beautiful pattern, nice and clear and ready to
Yeah.
go. All right, so I have my, on this, now you're gonna want a kind of a long piece of floss. You use 3 strands of embroidery floss with the rest of them.
Okay.
But this one you actually use all 6 strands.
Okay.
So depending on your project, a lot of patterns will tell you how many
Yes,
to
right.
use. So
Yep.
just follow the pattern. But this is you'll notice that it kind of looks like a spoke,
Yeah.
on a wheel, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start in the center. Hopefully that you can see this because this is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So I
There you go.
I come up in the center and I'm going to go down to the top of one of the spokes, and it even matches my sweater. This
Yes, it
thread,
does.
this
You
embroidery
did that on
floss.
purpose.
Oh, I did. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the center.
Okay.
And it's okay if you go in the same hole. This is going to be covered up anyway. So I suggest that you use the same color floss
Okay.
when you're doing this. You won't see it, but you already have it anyway, so you might as well use the same. Okay, I'm going to go all the way around.
So the first few stitches, you're just
I'm just
stitching directly on the line.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm creating a base. Because then we will. You know how difficult this is not to.
Oh, I bet.
When your eyes are, I need my
I bet.
magnifying,
Yeah, a magnifier
light,
for
yeah.
sure. Leanne
So-
said that the woven rose is so much fun to do. This looks way fun to make. There are a lot
Yeah.
of stitches I've never done. I'm
Yes.
excited to learn some new ones.
well, and it's
That's
fun.
great, Leanne.
I said it's really fun to, you could even keep your needle on top of your fabric if you wanted to do, instead of going up and down, if you felt like you wanted to do that. But
Anne-Marie's asking, how long should they cut their floss for this stitch? Do you have any
well,
thoughts
I
on
just
that?
kind of did it from my nose to, you know how you do
One of those,
One
yes.
of those,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't measure that one. So I should have
Just
measured.
long.
It's just long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to really run out.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
you're weaving this.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see how
this
this
is gonna
comes
be fun.
together.
yeah. So I am doing my last spoke. All right. So now this next, all you're going to be doing is you're going to be weaving. So when you weave, I'm going to go back into the center. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so all I am doing with this next step is I'm going over, under, over,
Yes,
under,
yes,
all the way
I can
around.
see that.
So I'm going to go
I can see how
under.
this is going to work.
I'm going to go over.
Oh my
I'm going to go
gosh.
under. Okay, can you kind of see what I'm doing here?
Yes, I love it.
And I'm just going to kind of pull it a little bit, under, over. We're going to be saying over, under, Okay.
That's cool.
Then you just continue to build. You continue to build this. So this is
Okay.
over, so I'm going to go under. Now you want to be careful that you don't catch your fabric either.
Yeah.
On this, you're wanting to just put this right underneath, and you want to keep your threads on top of each other.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So you can continue to do this and do it as much as you would like to. So now you can kind of see why you need a long piece of floss.
Yeah, Janet's right. It looks a lot like Kimberbell's rose on the punch needle sampler.
Yes.
Is that the same idea?
It is very similar. So you
Okay.
can see that as I'm building it, it kind of looks like a spider web. So you could actually do a fun Halloween.
could,
You could do
yes.
some fun Halloween stuff with some glow in the dark. Wouldn't that be
Oh
fun?
my gosh,
Glow
yes,
in the
it
dark
would.
thread.
Yes, it would.
So under, over.
Sarah's sharing that probably no more than 18 to 20 inches of thread at a time.
Yes, but then you don't want to run out either. So,
Yeah.
and then you don't want to get knots in it either.
Right.
So I
Which-
mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of things, especially when you're working with this long of one. You could even put a little bit of thread conditioner on this. This is really hard
That's a good idea.
But you can kind of see how now it's starting to form.
Uh-huh.
And you just keep going around, and you go around and around until you end up with this cute.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that darling?
It really is.
This looks like it's got quite a few layers.
It really is.
So you can keep going and round as much as you need to make a pop.
What do you all think about
Isn't
this?
that the coolest? That was probably one of my favorite stitches. That's what I wanted to show you.
I
so
want to try it.
Isn't it? Here.
Yeah.
Here, you need to try it.
Okay.
So now if you remember
Okay.
if I was
let's make
over or
sure.
under.
I know. Here we go.
And the other thing, when you have long threads, it does get caught on things.
It does,
So, I
yeah.
mean, that's just the nature of,
Okay, so this was,
you went under, now you go over.
oh, yes,
And
there
then
we go.
under,
Okay.
yeah. There you go. Isn't that fun?
It really is.
I mean, this part of it is mindless because you just
That's
are
so
going
true.
over
You
and
just
under.
don't have to really think about it.
I really love to do handwork because it does relax me.
Uh-huh.
And, but it's really fun. You're doing awesome. Look at that.
Well, I had a great teacher.
Well, I said. It was her pattern that
Yeah.
was great. But isn't
Oh,
that cute?
I can see that going
yeah,
on. Oh,
you can
that's,
start. It's
okay,
forming.
that's fun.
It's
I like
forming.
that.
So that one also is these two small ones also are those.
I love that.
Are the woven. the
Sue
woven
has a
flower.
tip to share. Sue says
Awesome.
to keep from catching thread or fabric as you are weaving, turn the needle around and weave with the eye of the needle first.
Oh, good idea.
Oh, there you go.
That is cool.
I would have
Yeah,
never
that's
thought
fun.
of that, but yeah, you could absolutely do that
Right.
as well.
Well, because you don't want the fabric to get caught
Exactly.
with the tip of the sharp part of your
Exactly.
needle. So
Wow,
it's really
okay.
fun.
I love
So,
it.
Isn't that really fun?
I've got to
I
get
can't-
myself one.
I said, I cannot wait to do mine.
You know what?
I love it.
I say life is too short. Enjoy all the hobbies.
Yes, and it's a small enough project that you'll be able to get it done quickly, and it's just adorable. It would just
Yeah.
be so cute. You wouldn't have to leave it in the embroidery hoop. You could actually frame it.
You could put it, yeah,
You could,
frame it.
you could put sashing around it and you do it as a pillow. There are so many different things
gosh,
that you could do.
yes.
You could even put it in a quilt
Yeah.
and do several of these, or a table runner, and do these as a table runner or something. Would be so cute.
It really would.
So if you're going to leave it in to finish, this is just
Oh.
something, I don't take it out of the hoop. I leave it in the hoop, and I actually, and this may not be, this is just according to Jackie, okay? So I will just make sure that it's nice and tight, and then I will take my glue gun, and I will put a bead of glue, and
Sure.
I will just
Hey, that
put it
works.
over, and then I will trim the excess because no one's going to see the back.
Exactly.
And then you could actually put a piece of felt or a backing or something. No one will even notice.
Exactly.
So if you wanted to keep it in the hoop, which would be really cute too to hang on your walls to keep it in the hoop, you could put a cute bow on it, and you could put rickrack around it. You could put beads. I mean, you could just bling it.
The possibilities are
however you
endless.
wanted, and which makes it really fun.
All
So-
right, Jackie, remind us, how do we get our hands on
Yes.
this?
Okay. Well, this is, like you said, debuting tonight
Yeah.
on Comments Sold, and we hope that we sell out on all of them.
Yes,
We hope we have
absolutely.
enough so all of you can
Give it
get
a
one.
try.
But you get everything you need in this cute little bag.
Yeah.
That you can get started. And
Absolutely.
then not to mention that darling needle minder.
And
right?
it is an exclusive to my girlfriend's
Yes,
quilt
it
shop.
is.
So
And
thank you, Bev.
Yes, she is the best. So that was very nice of her to do that
This
for
would
us.
also be a nice gift to give to someone.
Oh,
like, you
your
know, if
quilty
you've got
friends or-
someone
Yes.
that would love to do some handwork or wants to get started with handwork, why not do a sampler, you know, stitch like this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and some of you were mentioning about Kim with the punch needle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know that mark your calendars, because on November 11th.
Oh yeah,
she's-
because I get
she's-
to be on there
yes,
with you.
Yes.
This is going to be so
I
fun.
know.
I love it.
She's going to do it with you and I together.
Oh, I cannot wait.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, 'cause
So
that's
Monday,
another-
November 11th is the day. that Kim will be on.
That's another thing that, why not? Why not, right?
Why not?
Let's do all the stuff.
Exactly.
So this is great to take and wherever you are.
Yeah.
You could even
and somebody mentioned that they love that handwork is coming back. And it's very true.
Yeah.
It's really coming back.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm here for all of it. I love the machine
too.
embroidery. I love the serging. I love the handwork.
I love it all too. Yeah, and I should introduce you to Hardinger. I should show you. It's really,
oh boy,
that's really,
you know what?
That's really fun too.
Sign me up.
Okay, because that's really fun.
All right, I'm here for all of the things.
All right, well, I hope you become
knitting, crochet.
I know. What else can we do? Oh, you know what? We could do bracelets,
Cooking.
beading.
Cooking?
Maybe
No.
no.
Cooking? No.
Cooking? I wasn't saying cooking.
I
Beading.
was saying cooking.
Beading.
But,
We could make,
beading's fun too.
I mean, there's.
I know.
I mean, there's so many fun
I know.
things.
All right, friends. Well, that's all for theme number 2.
I hope you're excited because I'm really excited.
Me too. Same.
Yeah.
All right, my friends. Let's move on to theme number 3. We're going to be talking about perfection.
Yes.
Letting go of perfection. How do we deal with that? And also, we have one more mindless project to introduce you to. So let's do that. Okay. And as we go to theme number 3, let's take a quick look at a recent episode of 3 Themes at 3 with Shelby and Allison as they talk about the mug rug.
This is called the No Fuss Folded Coaster, and this is a darling 4-patch. Square that we have is 5x5. This is fusible interfacing. Yes. I'm going to hand you our first square. Iron that right onto that fusible interfacing. We're going to put this right here so that they can see, because here's where the magic happens. We also have 4 more 5x5 squares. We're going to fold all of them in half. Folds to the center, so all your eye edges are on the outside. At this point, I'm going to have you go to the machine. Trim the corners.
Yes.
Turn it inside out. Yep. Then we're going to poke those corners out. We're going to iron that down. That's all there is. It's perfect. Yes.
Welcome back, everyone. For theme number 3, all this week we've been talking about some just little tidbits of just advice or things that we can talk about when we discuss mental and physical health. And so today, let's start off with talking about perfectionism. Is that a problem for anyone around here?
It is for me.
Yeah, I'm there with you quite often.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but there are things that I'm just like, I gotta get it perfect, and we need to sometimes just have the ability to let it go, right?
Yes, I think letting go is definitely a really good thing to
So here
practice.
are some thoughts that we can take a look at. First of all, we just need to become aware of our own thoughts, right?
Yes.
And we have to be able to adjust our standards, which means that it's okay not to be perfect, right? It's okay. It's okay. So many times
hard to get
we're
there,
pointing
for
out
sure,
like,
right?
oh, but don't look at this too close and don't look at this. And it's all good. Don't do that to yourself. You need to set reasonable goals. You know, there is no way in my lifetime I will even attempt a Dear Jane quilt. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Have you started, haven't you?
I have all the stuff.
Exactly.
I'm the one that buys all the
that.
stuff, and then it sits in my sewing room.
You just need to give it to Cindy Martinez
go.
over
And then
there.
she'll probably get it
she'll
done.
whip it up right for you, right?
Absolutely.
Be sure to allow mistakes. That's the only way that we can learn is through our mistakes. And
for sure.
I always say become curious about your mistakes. When you make a mistake, think to yourself, what was it that happened? What did I do wrong? And why did it happen? Especially when I'm at the machine and I'm trying to get it just right. And then, of course, focus on the positive. Focus on all the good things that you've done instead of the negative things. Again, I know it's easier said than done.
I know.
It's so very
But it
important.
is really good to remember those things.
It is,
for sure. And
definitely.
And remember, if you're working on something and it's not perfect, I mean, really look and see how much did this really cost me.
Let it go.
Let it go. Put it in the garbage, and then start again.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So,
all right, and then a
that's
few
hard.
other thoughts that we have for you is when it comes to perfection is here are some of the signs of perfection. And I'm right there. Ooh, where are you procrastinating your projects? Because, I can't get started until I have everything just right. It's never going to happen. Just get started, right? You take longer to finish projects. You agonize over your projects. Don't do that, right? And it's your own standards that are paralyzing you.
Yeah, it's true.
So make sure that you just say, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going. And even if as imperfect as it is, I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to enjoy the process. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, that's another reason why it's fun to get together with friends to
Exactly.
sew. Because
just have a good time.
Because, they'll tell you just keep going. They'll give you all of the positive thoughts for what you're doing.
So, all right, Nancy says she's let the hearts go.
There
for
you
those
go.
of you who don't know, that's from Tug.
Yes.
And, I was teaching everyone how to crochet hearts, and I said, you know what, it's not for everybody.
No,
it's
no, it
okay.
isn't.
So just let it go.
Yeah, it's okay. Let it go.
All right. I know we're going to break out into the Frozen music, right? All right. Jackie, you have a mindless sewing. Well, not really sewing, but knitting.
Yeah.
And this, again, when we talk about things that were old that come new again.
Oh, absolutely.
Here we go.
Here it is.
The knitting mushroom.
This is like only when I was young, we did it with spools.
And nails. Yeah.
Yeah, and now look how cute this little knitting mushroom is.
Okay, show us how it's done.
This is another one that we're going to be doing on Comment Soul tonight as well, which is really cute.
Yeah.
All right, so this is very, very easy to do. So I don't want to undo it. I've got it started. If you can kind of see.
This is one of those you do not have to think about it, right?
So to get it started, you just put in your yarn or whatever you're using, and then just leave like a tail, like 4 or 5 inches down here. Then what you're going to do is you'll start, and you're going to work counterclockwise, and you're going to wrap it around each of the posts. Okay. Then on the second round, you're not going to wrap it, you're just going to lay it on top, because I already have the first layer, so I'm just going to wrap this around and just let it. You don't want to put it really tight either. So I will hold it with my thumb, which I love the mushroom because it allows you to hold it really good. So then this also comes with it.
And it's stinking cute.
It is really cute. Whoops. Here we go. There we are. It comes with the cute little, I want to just
tap, tap.
Tap, tap, tap. So then I'm going to take the bottom and just flip it over the top.
Okay.
I'm going to go that around.
Easy.
I mean, look how simple this is. All the way around. And the tighter it is, it's harder to.
Yeah, Barbara said she got one last year to make some I-cord, I-cord, which is great for, trims on clothing and garments.
Well, you'll continue doing this, and it eventually will come. It will come out, and it will form a tube. So
look
if you
at
look how cute these things are.
Totally tubular stuff.
I know, and this is, I mean, who would have thought this would have come back? But look how cute. So you can put them on bags. You can actually braid it if you want to make hot pads. Look how cute this little coaster. Look at this cute pillow.
Yeah.
You can use it on
Shout out to Allison, who spent hours of mindless knitting, right?
Oh, it is.
Putting these projects together.
This is something that you can do while you're watching television, and if you like to keep your hands busy. But you could use them for hair bows if you had long hair and you wanted to tie your hair back.
Hey, I think it's great for the kids too.
I think the kids could do this for sure.
Absolutely.
I think this would be a fun activity.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those really quick and easy things that will eventually you'll see. You got to keep going so that you'll have satisfaction when that little tube starts coming out of the bottom of that. Then
there is definite satisfaction.
Yes.
I like squealed.
There it is.
It's really happening. I'm knitting.
Yes, and so then what's really fun too is when you're not doing it, you can just fit that.
There
right in
you go.
How
Well,
cute.
and it's just as cute as can be.
It's darling.
So there you go.
So
All
one
right,
of those
thanks,
fun,
Jacki.
quick little things that you can do.
So true. All right. Well, we have had a really very full show, and I think the perfect way to end it today is to share with you another positive affirmation. Let's take a look at this one. I love these quotes right here. Audrey Hepburn, one of my favorites.
Yes.
She says, I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then you go ahead and share that one.
You have the courage to begin again every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day is a new start.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And really, you know what? Every hour, every minute is a new start.
It is.
So there you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you again for
been
being
so
with us.
fun.
Hey, I've got to sign off for the week. Now, don't worry. 3 Things at 3 is still tomorrow, but I want to say bye-bye because I'm on my way to Houston, baby.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm going
It's really fun.
It's going to be a while. I'm there for Quilt Market, and then I stay for Quilt Festival. By the way, if anyone's going to be at Quilt Festival, email me, okay? I want to take you to dinner while we're down there. So we're going to get together with a bunch of girlfriends. We'll have a meetup. We'll find a restaurant that we can go to. And it's my pleasure to be able to say, let me take you to dinner. And we'll just visit and have a good time.
Maybe we should go to dinner here for those that are here.
Right.
Maybe we should do dinner, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Hey, you totally could. Absolutely.
Hey, well, email me and we'll get a dinner date together.
And this lady right here is holding down the fort. So, you know, love on Jacki big time.
I will need
She's
some.
going to do great. I'm not even worried about it one bit.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It will be fun.
So she's got 3 Things at 3 next week. I will come to you live on Monday, giving you a little quick report on how market is going. And I'm just excited to see all that's new. I mean, just think of the fun 3 at 3s we can have next year.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, everyone.
Take
have
care.
a wonderful rest of your day. Keep enjoying doing all the things that you love. And we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.